Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Raghav Kapur, and in today's video I'm going to talk about something that I think that a lot of people are curious about: how to survive in Goa on a budget. And when I say budget, I mean under rupees 500 rupees on a daily basis. Before we begin, if you're new to this channel, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'm on a 365-day journey across the country and I have a set budget of rupees 500 for every single day. Now let's get started with the video. Now Goa is the smallest state in the country, but it still manages to be featured on the top 10 list of states that attract the maximum number of foreign tourists. And that is not without a reason. Goa is a beautiful place. It has a number of beaches, a diverse flora and fauna, and a sense of the Portuguese influence on the architecture. And also, if you like coconut water, this is the place to be. So how does one stay in Goa on a budget? Let's find out. Now when we talk about expenditure, there are three major heads: accommodation, food and travel. Now accommodation takes a major chunk of our expenditure because at the end of the day, you would want security regarding keeping your backpack and your baggage and having a place to sleep at night. The best thing about this place is that on every beach, you'll find a number of hostels, and every hostel usually has dormitories and they also have private rooms. Now private room usually goes for as much as a hotel room, if not more. Dormitories on the other hand are a place where you can actually stay and save money. Usually a bed in a dormitory would go for as low as 250 rupees and as high as 500 rupees or 600 rupees. But if you find a nice property, you could get something for 350 rupees. But I think that if we spend 350 rupees just on accommodation, it does not give us a lot of breathing room for food and travel. So what I usually do is, if I do not find a bed for rupees 250 in a dormitory, and maybe if it's a little more expensive than that, then there are two things that you can do. The first thing is, if you're carrying a tent with you, you can ask the hostel management if they would be willing to spare you some space where you can pitch your tent. Now, if you're not carrying a tent with you, the second option is that you ask the hostel management if they have tents of their own pitched in the premises of the hostel. Now, the benefit of sleeping in a tent is that it gives you relative privacy, but it also gives you access to all the facilities of the property. For example, free Wi-Fi, washrooms, the kitchen and the common room areas. So all you need to do is go to sleep in your tent and keep your stuff in the tent. Now, if tents are out of the question, the second option that you have, which is not a certain option, it is up to the discretion of the hostel, but it is that you can ask the hostel premises if they would allow you to sleep in the common room area at night. That usually means that you will not have a bunk bed of your own, you won't have a room of your own, but at night when you come back to the hostel after exploring, you will have a place to sleep. This again is a very good option because it saves you money and you have a place to sleep, you get access to all the facilities. Now living in a hostel in Goa is a very good experience because Goa attracts people from all over the world. So you will have different people from different countries, from different cultures living with you, staying with you, and you'll have an opportunity to interact with them and just get an idea about how they do things when they're back home. And it's a great place for cultural exchange and you might make some new friends, and I think that's priceless. And you will not be able to find something like that if you take a private room or if you stay in a hotel. So traveling on a budget is actually a very good thing. The second major head that I want to talk about is food. Now food is essential, you need it for sustenance, and unless you're a baba eating only once a week, I think you will be eating at least 2 meals a day, and I've got that covered for you guys. I think the day should be started off with fruits, and because you're in Goa, there'll be abundant shops selling fruits and they're actually very reasonable. For example, you can get 3 small bananas for rupees 10, a whole pineapple for rupees 50, and sometimes watermelons for as low as 20 to 25 rupees per kg. So if you start your day off with perhaps a packet of milk which will cost you rupees 20, and you're carrying a bag of oats and you have these fresh fruits, you can have a really nice meal which is not just cost effective but it is also very healthy and nutritious. The second meal of the day, I usually like to go for a veg thali, and if you're not eating at the beach and somewhere in the inner markets, you can find a good thali for as low as 100 bucks and as high as 150 bucks. And the thalis are usually great because they have a lot of food. You'll get a lot of rice, a couple of rotis, you'll have dal, you'll have sabzi, you'll have salad, you'll even have pickle and papad and yogurt as well. So that's a bang for your buck, and I think that is the way you would want to go if you're traveling on a budget. The third head is travel. Supposing that you spend 250 rupees on accommodation and another 200 rupees on food, you still have 50 rupees, which I usually like to put under the head of travel. But when I say travel, what do I actually mean? Now we're going to talk about the third expenditure head, travel. How I propose exploring Goa is that you come to a beach and you find your accommodation. Because the places are not very big, you can actually walk around to explore all the places. Once you're done exploring, you come back, you go to sleep, and you wake up in the morning. And if now you want to explore another beach, you take your backpack and you start moving towards the next destination, which is where I put the 50 rupees for travel. You can find a bus for travel. Anything else is going to be very expensive. Hiring a vehicle usually goes from as low as 200 rupees to 500, 600 rupees, depending on what kind of a vehicle you hire. For me, I think that traveling on a budget, hiring a vehicle is out of the question. You have to walk a bit. You have to explore one place at a time for one day, and the next day you move to the next beach. You again repeat the process of finding an accommodation for less than rupees 250. You have food for 200 rupees and you have 50 rupees spare for travel. Now, if you are staying at a place for 2 days, that gives you money to buy coconut water, as much coconut water as you can, and you can find coconuts for as low as 20 rupees and sometimes as high as 40 rupees. So living in Goa on a budget is not really that difficult. One of the motivations for people to come to Goa is the nightlife, and that is understandable because Goa is number 6 on the list of places where nightlife is amazing. There are a few ways of enjoying the nightlife. If you go to the beach, you'll always find somewhere or the else playing live music, and you can just sit there and enjoy the beach vibe, and you can enjoy the live music. And sometimes if you want, you can order a tea or a coffee and you'll have enough money for that left because of your 50 rupee travel quota. But if you want to actually go to a club or a lounge and have drinks, it is not cheap. So I like to consider that as a subjective expenditure, because some people would not want to go for the nightlife. Some people would only want to sit at the beach, maybe read a book, see the sunset, see the sunrise, and just enjoy the natural beauty of that place. But some people would want to come to Goa and have a blast, have a good time at a club, get some drinks, and that I feel is not an essential expenditure. That is why it cannot be fit into the 500 rupee budget. So in this video, we covered the essentials of surviving in Goa. It's not very difficult. Accommodation, travel, food, if you've got that covered, then everything else is a luxury, and if you want to indulge in that luxury, you will have to spend a little more money. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video, and if you have other ideas, if you have something that I missed out, make sure to leave it down in the comments, and stay tuned for more. I'm gonna see you soon.